See, not only, this is black light, not only did we were made to be servants and slaves, we were tortured, terrorized out of our minds for 400 years. This is something that never was done in history of man and mankind the way they did it. Because there were slaves, all the time it's been slaves. It's still slaves today. But the generational slavery, has to deal with taking away your mind, your culture, who you pray to, your names, your language. Once that's gone from you, you got to adopt another culture, another language, another name, another identity altogether, see, which they don't do nowadays. They didn't do that back before we came over as slaves, They also divided us from themselves and from us from each other because they don't want us to unite. That took a certain kind of programming. And it took time to do that. Today is bearing fruit. Just look on YouTube. Just look at the organizations, the different religious practices we have. When they say God is one, that means that there's no difference. We just got in our comprehension might be a little different of scriptures and certain books and certain theology, but it all came from one source. They just broke it up. When they broke it up, fragmentized it, they gave it to different segments of our black nation, and we came separate in thought and in action. That's why the coming of Master Farad is so important, because he's uniting, his teachings is uniting all the melanated people. In other words, the Indians, the brown man, the yellow man. He says these are the Aboriginal people and the black man. But he excludes the Caucasian because it's certain properties, chemicals within himself that he's lacking, that he got to get from us. So when he say Allah's one, that means that the Quran and the Bible, the Torah are one. It's just our lack of understanding and comprehension on how to make them one. When you say Allah, that means the all in all. That means we are all in one and we are one in all. And we just fragmentized now. Because once we understand this, there will be peace on the planet. There will be no more corruption, and there will be no more destroying the planet and the universe through lack of knowledge. Because once we find out that we've been here for eons, that we found a way to use technology in a way where it won't be no toxic reaction from the technology. See, the technology that they produce nowadays has a toxic waste to it, and we've been on the planet, in the universe so long that we know how to do things using pure thought. You know, that's why they always talk about the third eye. You know, certain glands that we got, you know, that we don't use now. We lost how to use some of our powers, and they're nullified now because just like talking on the phone, we used to use some type of ESP to talk to each other. He even says that in the writings of Jesus, when he would say, we know what they were thinking. You know, he could read minds. You know, the messenger, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, called it the radio in the head. So we don't exercise. That's like having a muscle and don't use it. You lose that muscle. You know, but the more you use that muscle, the more stronger and the more defined that muscle gets. This is Black Light. Stay tuned for more of what I'm talking about.